Tears of Jungkook and Taehyung's confession. A departure signal shaking BTS's future is the BTS era as we know it entering its most fragile phase in history. An emotional moment was captured in an internal session showing Jungkook, BTS's vocal icon, unable to hold back tears as Taehyung, or V, expressed his desire to leave the world that had nurtured them. This isn't just shocking news, but a strong signal shaking the foundation of the most influential group in K-pop history. Amid an initially optimistic atmosphere discussing the post-military future, a sentence from Taehyung stopped everything. "I want to step back after this is over." Suddenly, the internal meeting's atmosphere changed drastically. Silence enveloped the room. According to close sources present at the meeting, Jungkook was one of the most affected. It didn't take long before the overwhelming emotion became public consumption. A video less than a minute long showed Jungkook with teary eyes, bowing his head, and uttering words that have now gone viral. "I can't imagine BTS without one of us." One sentence, thousands of speculations. This news spread at lightning speed. ARMY worldwide is divided between denial and trying to accept. Is this just a temporary desire from Taehyung? Or is this the early sign of an inevitable separation? To date, BTS's agency, HYB, has only issued a brief and diplomatic statement that all members are considering their future both individually and as a group. This statement doesn't alleviate concerns, but instead triggers new anxiety. Analyses from music industry observers indicate that if Taehyung truly steps back, it could create a domino effect. BTS would not only lose one member, but also experience a shift in the collective identity built over more than a decade. Taehyung's role is not just as a vocalist or performer. He is a balancer, a visual image, and an emotional element that strengthens the sense of family within the group. What makes this situation more complex is the emotional background of the decision. According to some internal sources, Taehyung feels he has postponed many personal projects and artistic explorations for the group's sake. The pressure to always appear perfect, maintain BTS's image as a national symbol of South Korea, and the constant expectations from millions of fans have become burdens that gradually erode his desire to remain in the same circle. Jungkook, as the youngest member known to be very close to Taehyung, experienced an extraordinary emotional reaction. This isn't just about losing a colleague, but losing a brother. "BTS is family," he said in a limited session that later leaked to the media. "We started this together. We never imagined parting ways midway." Interestingly, after this news emerged, the other BTS members chose silence. No new posts, no comments, no clarifications. This silence, in the context of BTS, which is usually communicative, feels very loud. Fans interpret this as a sign that very serious internal discussions are underway. However, amid the concern, some have begun to question the truth behind this event. Is all this truly born from internal dynamics, or is there a media strategy at play? Many suspect that this emotional moment could be manipulated, exaggerated, or even designed as part of a management strategy to maintain public relevance during the post-military hiatus phase. Entertainment industry critics remind us that in the K-pop world, where high expectations and constant pressure are daily fare, such drama is not uncommon. Sometimes, emotional narratives become part of rebranding or a transition to a new phase. So the question is, are we witnessing a sincere emotional reality, or are we trapped in a cleverly packaged illusion? But what is undeniable is the public reaction. ARMY in various countries launched support campaigns, not just for BTS in general, but especially for Jungkook and Taehyung. They refuse to judge and instead choose to show love and empathy in the most sincere form. This proves that BTS is not just a music group, but a social phenomenon connecting millions of hearts. On the other hand, the agency seems to be in a big dilemma. Giving full freedom could mean opening the door to division, but forcing the members to remain in the same formation could potentially trigger deeper internal conflicts. hybe needs to play a strategic role that balances maintaining group cohesion and providing space for personal growth. To date, an official statement from Taehyung has not been released. Speculation continues to develop. But the world is now in a phase of waiting, not just awaiting a decision, but also waiting for an answer to one big question. Is this the beginning of the end for BTS? Or is it the beginning of a new chapter that will redefine the meaning of their togetherness? Clearly, Jungkook's tears and Taehyung's confession have opened a new gap in the BTS narrative. This gap could be the beginning of a wound or the start of a higher leap. It all depends on how they choose to proceed. In a constantly changing world, even a group as strong as BTS is not immune to internal pressures that are sometimes far greater than external ones. What remains now is hope that the honesty, maturity, and bonds they have built over the years can serve as glue in the most critical times. Now, not just fans, but the world holds its breath, waiting for answers, waiting for direction. And amid this uncertainty, one thing is certain. BTS no longer stands merely as a music group. They have become a mirror of human complexity, where dreams, pressures, friendships, and life choices intertwine into one. However, in the wave of emotions that continues to surge after Taehyung's statement and Jungkook's tears, a fundamental question arises that cannot be ignored. Are we truly witnessing an authentic moment born from BTS's internal dynamics? Or is this merely a narrative carefully crafted to attract public and global media attention? This event, which spreads so quickly across various digital platforms, from TikTok, YouTube, to Twitter, has become the main fuel for public discussion. But it's important to remember that virality is not a guarantee of validity. Many contents are shared in emotional video snippets, broken voices, or statement clips without context, which can easily create an alternative reality that doesn't always reflect the truth. So, how do we know what's true and what's just a well-packaged story? Have we ever thought that narratives of separation, tears, and confessions might be strategically chosen to create a strong emotional impact? Hasn't the entertainment industry long utilized fans' emotional attachment as the most powerful marketing tool? Perhaps at this point, we need to pause for a moment, not to judge, but to reflect. Why are we so quick to believe? Is it because the emotions expressed seem so real, or because we so deeply desire a personal connection with the idols we adore? Isn't it true that in today's information era, emotional manipulation can be done with extraordinary precision, even with just one video clip, one ambiguous caption, or one statement without clarification? On the other hand, we must not become too skeptical to the point of ignoring the possibility that this is indeed an honest expression from a tired artist who wants to grow beyond the frame that nurtured him. What if our suspicious reactions actually reduce their humanity? Is our own disbelief part of the pressure that burdens them? Who is actually being controlled, they or us? If all this is indeed designed as a media strategy, then the public is actually part of the show. Every click, comment, and share is part of the narrative that continues to be driven. But if otherwise, if this is truly the inner struggle of BTS members, don't they deserve space to be heard without constant suspicion? We do not intend to conclude what is right or wrong. We do not hold absolute truth because so far, all the information we present comes from various open media channels, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and several online media that may not be fully verified. Therefore, we invite you to view this event with open eyes and a reflective mind. Are we witnessing a real moment or victims of entertainment industry sensationalism? Are Jungkook's tears proof of sincerity or part of a grand stage called public perception management? Does Taehyung's desire to leave reflect personal restlessness